Do you happen to have a Pete Design slide and a Pete Design camera cube small lying around somewhere? Well, if you do, stick around because Pete Design has a secret 6-liter sling bag that they just don't tell anybody about. So let's jump right in and talk about it. What's up guys, a project photography about the video, and today we're going to be talking about Pete Design's secret 6-liter sling bag for travel photographers. Now, they have mentioned this setup a few times here and there, and I kind of picked it up from one of their videos, but I don't think a lot of people really know about this setup. And in short, it is essentially a small camera cube with the Pete Design slide attached to it. Pretty much how you do it is you put the little anchors on the endpoints of the actual camera cube itself, and then you attach the slide to it, and there you go. You just adjust it the way you want, and boom, you have a sling. It's really easy, really simple to set up, and you only really need 2 items. You just need the slide and then the Pete Design small camera cube. Now, for a little bit over, I want to say 6 months, I've been doing a lot of more street photography, and I've been using this sling a lot because it just makes sense, right? Like, I don't want to carry a lot of stuff. I don't want to carry my everyday backpack, so I just go along with this sling. I throw a lens in there, throw a camera in there, throw my my wallet and my keys in there, and I'm pretty much good to go. It's very small, lightweight, compact. I don't feel like I have to bring a big bag whenever I'm going out and traveling small. And that's what I really like about this sling. I think what a lot of people gravitate towards when they're looking for something like a sling. And honestly, it works great as a sling. Like, I have very little complaints about it. And the funny part is it's not even meant to be a sling in the first place. Some of the things I really like about it is that the fact that it's just one big kind of open space and you can customize it the way you want. I put my 2 flexible dividers on each side, so let's just say having something small on the bottom, I can go and put that flex down, put something on top of it, and so on. And I can put, like, there's this like kind of zipper, no, not zippers, but like Velcro patches you can put on them. And they're essentially these small things that you can put, small things inside of, like, let's just say chapsticks or batteries or whatever you put on it. You pretty much Velcro to the wall and it stays there. It's pretty nice and pretty usable. And on top of it, another big thing I really like is at the top of it, you can kind of just like rip open, grab all your stuff, and then zip it back up. It's really easy and simple to zipper it up and stuff. No sort of hassle or thing that you have to deal with. You don't have to zip things open. You just kind of rip it open, pull stuff out, and then close it. It's really simple and easy to use. But obviously, because this is not a dedicated sling, there are a few things that, weren't really thought about when making this thing, when using it for a sling. Because obviously, that's not what it was initially meant for. First of all, it doesn't hug your body nearly as well as something like an everyday sling version 2, because, it's just not the shape that's meant for that kind of stuff. Like the 6-liter sling hugs your bag really well, and it just works. Versus this bag is kind of doesn't hold its shape nearly as well, and it kind of just sits on your back. Not necessarily like hugging it like a 6-liter everyday sling would. Another thing that separates especially this bag from something like a 6-liter sling every day is the fact there's no zipper compartment on the front like with the everyday sling, so you can't really put more stuff in there. And it doesn't have a few of the features that the 6-liter sling has. It doesn't allow you to hold a tripod. It also doesn't allow you to put a capture clip on there. But with all that being said, now how these different bags operate. This bag is incredible for travel, and anyone who is a travel photographer should absolutely pick up this bag over the everyday version 2 6-liter sling. And not street photographers. Notice how I didn't say street photographers. Travel photographers in particular. So let me explain why. When I went up to Lake Tahoe for a recent trip, I brought along pretty much my duffel bag with a medium-sized camera cube, and then I threw my small camera cube in there. What I did as well is I threw my slide camera strap from Pete Design just in my side pocket, and then filled up, my medium camera cube, my small camera cube accordingly, just to pack for the trip and so on. But when I got to Tahoe, I was able to take the stuff out of the medium or the small camera cube and then put my camera gear in there and walk around Lake Tahoe, do all those things with a smaller kit without having to take my everyday backpack. And because you're on a trip, you're walking around, you kind of have to do what everyone wants to do, and you're not necessarily just there to shoot stuff. And because it's more of like a travel oriented thing rather than just a photography trip, I was able to carry light. I had to carry as much stuff, and I just had a good time because you don't want to carry a big backpack when you're walking around for like an entire day. You're carrying something small, something light, something compact, and you're not really trying to focus too much on the photography. You just it's there conveniently, so you don't really want to bring a big setup. And I think that's the power of this bag, is the fact that it's a great hybrid bag. You can use it for traveling. You know, you can put I put my tech stuff in there, like I'll put my chargers, put my, you know, portable battery in there. I'll just put little amenities in there. But when you want it for a camera bag system, you can take that out of your bag and then, you know, take all the stuff out and then make it into a sling. And it's really, really useful for that. And it does both of those jobs very, very well. It's not a great, you know, dedicated sling, but it's also not a great, you know, sort of thing for putting a bunch of stuff in there. It's meant to be a camera cube, so it's supposed to work with that Peak Design ecosystem, but it works as all these things very, very well. To me, it's one of those bags where I feel like a lot of photographers need that camera cube because it can just do so much, especially for child photographers. But the thing is, I don't think that this sling is a good dedicated sling because it's not meant to be a dedicated sling. It's a small camera cube. But yet, I think for street photographers in particular, you would probably want to look at something like a 6-liter sling, that version 2 everyday from Peak Design, because that has the features that dedicated street photographers would want to use and carry small and all that kind of stuff. But for the folks that, you know, like to travel a lot, they would need a small camera cube for putting camera stuff in there or just putting a bunch of stuff in there for travel. This makes a great hybrid system in the sense that, you know, if you pick this up, you don't really need a 6-liter sling on top of it because it really just does the job well of what a, you know, 6-liter sling is supposed to do. It does that job. Like when I have this bag, I don't feel like I have to, you know, have a 6-liter sling on top of it, something like an everyday carry, because this bag really does that job well. So who would I recommend getting this system? For people that A, either have a slide, or B, have a camera cube, or both, I would recommend getting one or the other, or putting those two things together and creating this sling. Because first of all, you know, comparing this to something like a dedicated sling, it definitely does the same job as it would, just not as well. And I just say that because the everyday 6-liter sling from Peak Design, you know, has a lot of those niche features that street photographers really like. But if you're pretty simplistic like me and you do a lot of traveling, I think this setup would be perfect for a lightweight everyday carry. And yet, not a lot of people know about this. I think just not a lot of people talk about it enough. And I think people should because it's a really underrated kind of system that they created. You know, when we think about Peak Design's ecosystem, right? Like their plates for their, you know, capture clip work the same as with the tripod. Just everything is integrated really well. And I think it really shows when you're looking at something like this camera cube with the slide to be able to create a very, very good sling. So for those who really just want a dedicated sling, not really too worried about travel, I would definitely go with that 6-liter everyday version 2 bag. But, you know, if you're a travel photographer or somebody that has those components already and you don't necessarily need a dedicated sling and want something in a pinch, I would absolutely highly recommend getting the Peak Design small camera cube plus the slide. And if you have one or the other, that's great. Just add the other one and boom, you have a sling. It really is useful and it's something that I use all the time. Whenever I go on street photography shoots, that's the thing I bring. Whenever I go on like small portrait shoots and stuff, that is absolutely the thing I bring because, you know, it just works really well. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, go ahead and like the video, comment, subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next one.